If you don't yet have your legal documents order, your will, your power of attorney, your medical directive, today we're going to go through why that is just so important, how it's really not as hard as you may think. And to get through this, just forgive yourself, because if you're watching this, you probably don't have these documents. Forgive yourself 100%. Past is in the past. Listen right now. Learn how to get all this stuff done, why it's important. Get yourself over that finish line so that your family is taken care of. One of the things that I hate doing more than anything in the upkeep of my house is cleaning out my air filter for my furnace. So every so often it beeps at me, tells me I have to clean it out. I have one of those reusable ones, so I have to wash it and squeeze it, get all the dirt out. It's a mess. I get dirty. I hate it. I always put it off because I hate it. Something that's not fun to do, I try not to do it, right? Legal documents are one of those things that drive people nuts. It usually takes on average for our clients about 7 years for them to actually get all their legal documents in order. It's not because they don't think they're important. It's not because they think that it's prohibitively expensive, that they can't afford to do it. It's because it's not fun. Who wants to think about dying? Who wants to think about being disabled? Who wants to think about having to make end-of-life medical decisions? Nobody, right? But it is something that's important. You will sleep better at night if you can get it done. So let's go through why it's so important, what these three main documents do, and what happens if you don't have them in order. So the first one is a will. The will is the one that we most focus on, but it may not always be the most important document that you have to get in order. If you're a younger family, the will is super important because it does two things. One, it says who will take care of your children if you are not here and able to, and two, who do you want handling the money aspect of it for them if they're minors. And they don't have to be the same person. So person one that's taking care of the children does not necessarily have to be the same as person two that's handling the money aspect for them. The biggest thing that got me over this line to say, hey, let's get this done, is really a question that somebody posed to me once, as far as, hey, if you did not do this will, and all of your family members all went to the courts and they said, hey, I should be the one to manage the finances, I should be the one to take care of your children, please give me this authority, judge. Would that be the person that you actually want? The person that would be most convincing to the judge, would that be the person that you and your spouse would really want raising your children or handling the finances? And so you need to think about that. You need to think about putting that in writing to protect yourself and, most importantly, your kids. So that's the first one when it comes to a will. The second item is your power of attorney. Your power of attorney says, hey, if I am still alive, but I am not able to make my own decisions, who should do this for me? So if you're married, a lot of times that might be a spouse, obviously first, and then you may want a backup. If you are older, this is particularly important. A lot of people get their will, power of attorney, medical directive all done at once when they're younger, and then they don't update it over time. So when your kids are older, maybe now you do want one of your children to be the power of attorney. You do want that to be that person as the backup. Now that they are older, now that they are able to manage things, your brother or your aunt or your cousin either may not be alive or may no longer be the person that you really want as the backup or the primary taking care of your stuff. So the power of attorney is super important to get done in advance. What happens if you don't have it done in advance? Well, now you might be sitting in the hospital, you have an investment account that you need to get to take care of yourself that they need for care, and no one can get into it because they don't have a power of attorney. So it might be an individual account, it might be an IRA. So if your spouse is needing to get into your IRA to help fund this, they won't be able to. Their name is not on the account. They need the power of attorney. You can't just say, hey, I'm the wife, give me the money out of my husband's account. Doesn't work like that. You need to have that power of attorney already set up. If you don't have it set up, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to go to the courts as your loved one is in the hospital struggling, and during this stressed situation, you're going to have to go into the courts and get all this stuff done. Not the time you want to do it. Do it in advance. Third item, medical directive, living will with medical directive. What do you want to happen for these end-of-life medical decisions? Again, something important to have, especially as you get a little bit older. Maybe a spouse, but who's behind the spouse? Who's the backup to this? Important to have that updated so that it follows your wishes. If you are older, you have children, and you're starting to assign children to some of these responsibilities, a big part to think about is some people say, hey, I want all my children to be equal. I want them all to be power of attorney. I want them all to be executor. I want them all to be the medical directive person. If you do that, they need to make sure that they're all agreeing with each other. So they don't have to be the same person for every document. And we encourage people to try to pick one. Pick a power of attorney, one executor or executrix, one medical directive person. That's what I hear coming from most attorneys. Hey, try to pick one, because if you pick multiple and they don't get along and they have different opinions, you might be stuck in a bad spot when this person or this responsible individual is supposed to be taking care of your stuff for you. So something to very much consider. So whether you're younger with a family, older, make sure you have these documents in order. A great resource for some people is their work may offer professional legal services either for free or at a discount. So something definitely to check in there. But even if you don't have it through work, a couple $1,000s, nobody loves spending that. There are online resources that may even be less expensive than that as well now. But getting these things in order, cleaning out that disgusting filter once a quarter, whatever I have to do at home, it's something I have to do to keep the air in my house clean. So make sure you keep your situation nice and clean and healthy for your loved ones, your family. You do not want them having to go through this during a stressful situation in the moment. Have it done well in advance so that you are prepared.